Hello! Can you hear me okay, people? I just had a bit of a technical hitch, which you've probably noticed. How? Bear with me. I have got...
Hello! Can you hear me okay, people?
Oh, do you know what I'm doing? Bear with me.
Just had a bit of a technical hitch, which you've probably noticed.
Okay. I had the video playing in lots of different places and then I could hear myself, which completely confused me. So, morning, afternoon, lovely to have you here. Let's start with a few hellos because there's loads of gorgeous people joining. So welcome, I hope you are doing okay. Hi Rebecca, lovely to have you here. So sorry to hear you're feeling crap. Hopefully we will get that sorted out today. Tina, you're feeling a bit brighter today, so that's really good to hear, and you love the meditation. I'm so pleased to hear it. Hi Tina, lovely. Oh, I've just said Tina to Misha, I meant to say. How are you doing, Tam? Hope you are doing okay. Feels good to be back in this space. I know I'm really enjoying this space. I'm so glad you are too. Hi Tracy, lovely. Hi Karen. Oh, headache and feeling tense today. We'll play the meditation later. And yeah, your visualization for today is a beautiful one. So I think that will certainly help. Anna, you love the music. Yeah, I thought it's a nice way to lead into things. Gabby, lovely, how are you doing? Gabby's going to be joining us next week. She's going to be sharing a bit about her journey into Ayurveda and wellness and working with me. So really looking forward to that. Morning, Wendy, lovely. Hope you are doing okay. Hello, Melanie. Lovely to have you here, hon. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Caroline. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Julie. Oh, so many gorgeous people in this space. Welcome. Oh, hi Lorraine, hi Fran. Hope you are doing okay. So, who's managed to keep up with everything? Who's actually been doing the visualizations? Who's actually been making the time for themselves during this week together? Because I know how easy it is for life to get in the way, for things to speed up, for everyone else's needs to be more important than our own. And this is where we come back to the self-healer mindset, that mindset of, actually, unless I look after myself, I am no good to anyone. So Melanie, you have, Tracy, you have, fabulous. Oh, I'm so pleased to hear that. Gabby, you're doing okay, slowly managing to get back into your practices. It's so lovely to have you here live. Missed you, hon. Hope you're doing okay. Wendy, you've done them. Tina, you've done them. Tam, you're all caught up. Fabulous. Oh, I'm so pleased to hear it. So today, we will be diving into what we do when fear and anxiety take us over. What we know about menopause from an Ayurvedic point of view is we're actually moving into a Vata time of life, and we'll be going into what that means today. We'll be going into what does a Vata imbalance feel like in the nervous system, because as we move into that new time of life, it can create an excess, and this can lead to feelings of anxiety, of overwhelm, of that feeling like our mind is going 1,000 times an hour, and we just want to stop the world and get off. So today we're going to be looking at how can we do that? What can we do? And, you know, what are some really good tools that are going to be able to bring us back into balance? Who just said that? Bear with me. Lorraine, you've been doing everything. and feel so much better. You've told your family all about it and you've had so much support from them. Oh, and it's so true, isn't it? Sometimes we can make up these stories in our head about, I've got all these responsibilities, therefore I can't do it. And I know this was something that really held me back in the beginning of my health journey. I work full time, I'm a mum of 3. And at the time, my son, he was under a year old. He was like really little. I was breastfeeding. So I had limited time. I really probably had the most limited time I could possibly have in my life. And when I say I was working and I was doing my master's degree. And my master's degree meant that I was often in London, travelling from the Isle of Wight, leaving here at 5 a.m, not getting back till 8 o'clock at night. So my point of sharing that is there's always a way. There's always a way. And my family actually ended up being really supportive of this because they knew that actually when I looked after myself, I think initially they were a bit like, is she taking an excuse not to not to do everything? But once I started practicing, once I started really taking care of myself, they saw the results. They could see I was showing up happier. I had more patience. I was able to do more. Even in my job, I was far more effective when I was healthy. I was far more productive. My mind could think properly. I could think through things easily. There was none of this wading through treacle, which is kind of like how every day used to feel. Like before I started all of this, it used to feel like I was pushing a boulder up a big hill, trying to get through everything I needed to do during that day. So yeah, thought I'd share that. Rebecca, unfortunately work took over yesterday, but you're determined to catch up today. That's it, lovely. Brand new day, you get to start again. Deborah, it's been wonderful to do the visualizations and carve some time out for you. Caroline, yes, all done. Tamisha, I'm not perimenopausal and I am all too often in fast forward. Can't wait to get rid of my excess barter. This will certainly help today, lovely. Wendy, I'm not great at art, but I enjoy it. I did some writing and art yesterday. Beautiful. How lovely. Creativity is something that we'll be touching on today. Gavi, a year into this journey, and my 8-year-old now sends me to do my meditation when I get crabby. I know, it's funny, isn't it? How the tables have turned. Your kids start sending you away to sort yourself out. And Rebecca, you can relate to the treacle thing. Yeah. Okay. So, I thought we'd do slides again today. I thought that kind of kept me on track a bit more. So let me just bring these up and see if I can make it work. 1 minute, let me see if I can do it like that. Is that better? Is that not better? What about if I do it like that? Let's do that. So just a reminder then. So the reason, well, the changing point in my journey was when I realised there was these 3 aspects to this. It wasn't enough that I knew the Ayurvedic wisdom. Prior to me really taking it seriously, I read all the books. I watched all the YouTube trainings. I did everything I could to find out more about Ayurveda. And there was a couple of bits that were missing for me during that period. First one was I didn't really understand how it translated to my body. I understood it on a really surface level basis. So, I could pick out that, I have pitta tendencies. Or, yes, I can get drawn into vata. What I didn't understand was then how do I draw all of that back and bring it back into balance. So that's where the understanding your body on a much deeper level really helps, because you will see, probably not through this journey, if I'm completely honest, we've only got 5 days together, but you will begin to understand your body on a lot deeper, on a much more deeper level. And then we have the self-healer mindset. So again, this comes back to what I was just talking about, in terms of, it's not until we start taking our needs seriously, valuing them, valuing the time it takes to take care of ourselves, and say yes to that we really start to see the results. Like, say, I was very much in this wellness seeker mentality of, thinking I could do it all myself. And I want to do all I can to give you the tools to do what you can yourself. And this will certainly help this week. But I can't say it's going to solve all your problems. I really can't. But this self-healer mindset is also about understanding what we know and what we don't know, what we can do ourselves and where we might need some help and support. So, just to kind of bring it into big picture here, during our time together, we're really looking at what we can do to kind of sort out any further imbalance happening. What we're not going to have the chance to look at during this week together is all of these other things that affect our nervous system. So whether you're eating the wrong foods for your body type, whether you're doing the wrong kind of activities and exercise for your body type, what your past traumas have been and the effect that will have on your nervous system. Learning to listen to your body before it goes too far out of balance. How our environment is affecting how we feel on a day-to-day basis. Our relationships, and I don't just mean our intimate relationships, this is our relationships with our friends, our colleagues, our bosses. All of those will be having an impact on your nervous system, where your boundaries are, where your the role you're playing in those relationships. And you may not be able to see all of these on the slide because I'm kind of covering some of it up. But the type of lifestyle choices we're making, whether our digestive system is working properly, and I don't just mean taking a probiotic. I mean, that's another great example of one of the superfood trends where in the West we're sold these kind of magic pills, like the amount of people that have come to me saying, I'm taking turmeric but it doesn't help. But that's because you're probably taking it in a supplement as opposed to how your body can absorb it. I could go off track there, so I'll leave that there. The time of year, the time of our life, there's so much that has an impact on our nervous system. So just to kind of give you a bit of a reality check in terms of what we're covering this week, it will help. It will certainly help you from going too far out of balance, but just to kind of make you aware that all of these things will be having an impact on your nervous system. And the irony is, the universe works in mysterious ways. Often when we're out of balance, we will be drawn to other things that will bring us out of balance. So an example of this might be, I'm sure there's people in the group that like yoga. So that's probably a really good example. So you will often find if someone is out of balance in pitta, has too much pitta, too much fire energy, they will be drawn to things like hot yoga. They will be getting really competitive with themselves around things like how long they can hold poses for. Like very disciplined around the practices they're doing and how long they're doing it for, and almost become a bit obsessive. If someone's got more of a vata imbalance going on, they might be more drawn to things like Kundalini yoga. Kundalini yoga is fabulous if you have got like a kapha imbalance, but actually if you've got too much vata, too much air, which we'll be going into today, then this is possibly the worst thing you can do. Often in Ayurveda, you will see people with anxiety and overwhelm come to you and say, but I've been doing Kundalini yoga, but that's often one of the things that will draw them further into out of balance. Whereas someone who's got a lot of kapha going on, which we will go into more depth tomorrow, will be going more for the slower flows. They might be going for more the soft and gentle types of yoga. So more like a yin yoga, something. Mind you, yin can also be quite intense, but more of the softer flows, more of the slower flows, when actually they could do with a bit more heat. So actually something like a hot yoga would probably be better for them. So this is the irony around our bodies. When we're in balance, I always say when you're in balance, trust your cravings, trust what your body is telling you that you need, because I strongly believe our body knows what's best for us when it's in balance. The problem is when we're out of balance, it will often crave everything that will continue to take us out of balance. So, you know, we might see this with the food that we're eating, with the and we'll know this, won't we? If someone's been eating lots of sugar, you will continue to crave that sugar. And this is the same with our bodies. That goes for everything in our life. If you've got a pitta imbalance, you'll see this in your relationships. You'll be attracting drama-filled relationships into your life. So we have to look at it all. And this is where I think my unique methodology really helps, because it looks at those three aspects. It doesn't just go into one of them, which you will often find. For me, that was one of the challenges I had. I signed up for training courses, and those training courses just concentrated on the Ayurvedic wisdom. So then I had to get a coach, and then the coach would tell me about my body and help me to figure out my mindset. So that's why in my programs and everything I do, I tend to include those three different elements. So if you choose after this to work with me or not, bear in mind that you're going to need those three pieces to come together to really start seeing a difference in your health and wellness. So I just wanted to share that with you today. So as we started looking at yesterday, there's three main patterns that will show up for us. Yesterday we looked at pitta, and the main element that relates to pitta is fire. So it will present in ways that we would associate with fire. So heat, redness, ferocious, fiery temperaments. And today we'll be looking at vata, which is the main element of vata is air. So if we take a moment to think about air, it moves. There's a lot of movement. I tend to think of this more like a wind or a gentle breeze when it's in balance. It keeps everything moving. But when out of balance, it can feel a bit more like a hurricane. So hopefully this slide will make it a bit clearer. Let me see if I can get rid of me for a moment so you can see this slide properly. Vaguely. So healthy vata. We all need vata. Vata is our creativity. It's that part of us that allows ideas to flow in, that gives us that inspiration, that those ideas. It allows us to really connect with that intuitive self, that part of you that just knows things. It doesn't know how it knows things, it just knows things. It allows us to feel connected to other people, to the wider world, to the environment, to that collective consciousness. And it allows us to communicate, to talk to each other, to share, to... Often people that have a lot of Vata naturally will be beautiful storytellers. They will be able to lead you on a journey with their words. There's a flow element to Vata, and what I mean is, those days that just seem to flow. You get everything done. You don't have to strive. You don't have to push. Things just get done with ease and grace. And this comes with this Vata energy. And Vata can be visionaries because they've got that constant flow of ideas coming in, and they can see the big picture. So Vata is a beautiful energy. We all have Vata within us. But the problem can be when it goes into excess. When it goes into excess, we can find ourselves feeling very anxious. Our mind becomes so busy that we can't concentrate on one thing. Our thoughts can feel overwhelming. It feels like they're out of control. And we can feel overwhelmed by the world, overwhelmed by our responsibilities, overwhelmed by everyone around us. Everything feels too much. We can find ourselves waking up generally around the time of like 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. This is the time when our dream state would normally kick in. So, and if we think our dreams are our body's way of processing that which hasn't been digested. So during this time, if we've got a lot that's undigested, it can physically wake us up and cause disturbed sleep. Even if we can't remember our dreams, it doesn't mean that that isn't triggering that wake-up response. It can leave us to indecisiveness, so overthinking every decision, driving ourselves insane, thinking about things from every possible angle until it doesn't make sense. And we go into this kind of fear mentality where we don't do anything, we don't take decisions on anything, because it almost becomes a bit addictive, this state of just overwhelm. And because the energy's all up here and our mind's so busy, it's just impossible to concentrate or to think things through clearly, to remember information, because it's literally moving through the mind so fast. And that feeling of just being generally ungrounded, untethered to the world, like we're living up in the clouds, away with the fairies, and generally not in a nice way. Physically, you can feel fidgety or unable to settle, or just cannot sit still. So you'll try and sit down and have a cup of tea and be up, down, up, down. And the outcome of this is this fear mindset. You'll find yourself worrying about things that have never occurred to you before. All of a sudden, everything feels like it's on your shoulders. Things feel really scary. And, you chuck a pandemic into this, and the state of the world and in the environment and all of those things, and this can feel really uncomfortable, really overwhelming, and just too much. So let's have a look at some of the things that we can do to really start bringing this back into balance. And what I will say, before we look at the remedy, is the irony is fear becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. it becomes self-sabotaging. It becomes, it stops us saying yes to the things that are going to be good for us. It means that we're constantly closing ourselves down from opportunities. And we can get into this state of just pushing away everything that's good in the world. So it really does start almost showing you what you've been fearing, if that makes sense. So there's so many remedies here, but I wanted to share with you the thing, I would say the two things that I have found the most powerful, just concentrating on the nervous system response to Vata, which is gratitude, and then feeling the fear and doing it anyway. So just to kind of give a bit more context around gratitude, what I am not talking about, and this is a little bit triggering for me, I'll be honest, is writing a gratitude list every day. And when I think about that, I think, does anyone remember or has seen that there's like a quote with Winnie the Pooh and Piglet? I was about to say Twiglet, not Twiglet, Piglet. And I think Piglet says to Winnie the Pooh, "How do you spell love?" And Winnie the Pooh turns around and said, "You don't spell love, you feel love." And this is the same with gratitude. Writing a list will not help you in your gratitude practice if you are not taking the time to feel that gratitude in your body. Gratitude is an emotion, it's a state, and it's a powerful state of being. So just writing a list, like on autopilot, yes, it might help you to start noticing things to be grateful for, but it's not necessarily going to cultivate that state of gratitude. And then coming on to feel the fear and do it anyway. And the reason I think this is so important is because, like I said, fear can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. You get anxious about things, you don't do the things you need to do. Because you don't do the things you don't need to do, something bad happens. So we need to break that cycle. And one of the ways we can do this is by doing something that sparks fear in us and then realizing it's all okay. When I think about the actions that I've taken in my life that have created the biggest fear response, they've also been the actions that have proved to me that, one, I can absolutely cope with anything. I know that in my deepest core, I can cope with anything. The world carries on turning. Some things have been tougher than others and I've had to deal with them. But deep down, I was okay. And the other thing that I learned from feeling the fear and doing it anyway is often the things I was most scared of, that really terrified me, that I was creating every excuse not to do, ended up being the best things for me in the long run. So, and I'm talking big things. I'm not talking little things here. I'm talking big things. And I'm not saying you need to go make a huge decision now. You can go build up to little decisions and kind of build that muscle of what fear you can cope with so that it builds that feeling of self-confidence. You know, sometimes it might be just, I don't know, saying yes to something you've always wanted to do but have never given yourself permission to do. It might be, picking up the phone and calling someone that you've been meaning to call for a really long time but not sure what kind of response you were going to get. Or it might be something big. I look back and I've made some huge decisions in my life that have completely disrupted my life in several different ways. And all of those have worked out beautifully, and all of those have led to where I am now. So let me just take a moment before we move on to read comments. Bear with. Oh my gosh, lots of comments coming through. So Anna, you have excess pity. You think you've been doing yoga for 2 years, being gentle on yourself, and found so much about my body and breathing. Thinking of signing up for a yoga teacher training. Oh, that sounds exciting, lovely. Tam, how do you know when you are in balance? Is it a feeling, or are there other indicators, or is it just a sense of general wellness? All of the above is the short answer. Let me bring myself back up and how do I do that? Hey, there you go. So, how do you know if you're in balance? Yes, there is all of what you've said. So, one, you will know. You will feel it in your body. You will feel really good. You will have energy. Your skin will be clear. Your digestive system will be on form. You'll not be experiencing any physical symptoms. That's the state that we're looking to be in. And that includes our mental and emotional health too. That's not to say you won't have bad days. Of course you have bad days. This is part of our human experience. But there's a balance to that, as opposed to it being one way or the other. I would say, in fact, if you were constantly on some kind of high, then actually there is certainly an imbalance going on there. So I hope that answers your questions a little bit. Lorraine, lots of Vata. Samantha, excess Vata. Susan, you woke up at 3 a.m. every day regardless of what time I go to sleep. That sounds like a Vata imbalance. Rebecca, way too much Vata. Caroline, definitely lots of Vata. Okay, so there's loads of people in here with a Vata imbalance is what we seem to be experiencing. Tam, addicted to overwhelm. If I'm honest, this was you. I was away with the demons. Yeah, and if we think about coming back to that self-healer mindset, when we're in that wellness seeker mode, we know that we're not going to get anywhere while we continue to do the things that we have always done. Everything that's led you into imbalance is not going to get you out of imbalance. So something has to change, and that's where our mindset piece really comes in. Yeah, Samantha, this is how you're feeling right now. Fearful, trying to cope with symptoms of long COVID daily. Yeah, lovely. That will not be helping your nervous system at all. Anna, journaling is powerful, amazing results. Definitely. I would use journaling in a different way, less around gratitude, more around, I use journaling personally. I use journaling mainly for manifesting, for shifting my mindset from looking at my demons, from processing unprocessed emotions, a whole variety of things. And I think it is a huge tool that you can use to balance your well-being. I think it has limited use with gratitude generally. That's my opinion. Okay. So we're all in need of a bit of nurturing our vata by the looks of it, apart from a couple of people who are really imbalanced. So, imbalance in that respect. So that's really, well, good for you, lovelies. So today, I thought we would sink deeply into gratitude, and you can then compare how this would feel, or how this feels to you in comparison to just writing a gratitude list, and see if you can notice the difference in the response from your nervous system. So we're not talking about, oh, this is a nice thing to do, but how does it feel? Getting you used to actually really checking in with your body, checking in with your nervous system. And I'm sure some of you are already doing that, but it'd be useful for you to use it as a comparative exercise. And then today, your visualization that will be sent to you is a little bit different. So just to kind of give you a bit of a teaser, some of you that have been with me for a while will know all about this. But today's visualization is a guided Abhyanga, which is a self-massage. So for your visualization today, that will be sent out to you later. You will need either a massage oil or a moisturizer or a coconut oil or a sunflower oil or a sesame oil, depending on what feels good to your skin. Check in what feels good for you. Okay, so what I invite you to do is get comfy, get a nest ready, do whatever you need to do. I'm going to be guiding you through a gratitude practice. Gabby, you love Abhyanga. Yeah, me too. As you know, I went to go live, was it yesterday or the day before? And of course I started my day with Abhyanga. I always start my day with a self-massage because why wouldn't you? Let's be honest. And actually I can see it now. I could just see my shine because I was, my skin was all glowing and oiled up. So get yourself comfy, get a nest ready. You may want to journal with you so that you can note down your experiences afterwards. I will leave that completely up to you. And what I will say is I'll be sending the slides around afterwards, so don't feel like you've got to take any notes or anything. And the recording, obviously. So as and when you're ready, gently closing your eyes or softening your gaze. And bringing your awareness to the breath in the belly. And we're just noticing, how does that rhythm feel for us today? Is the rhythm fast or slow? Steady or more sporadic? Is the breath quite deep or quite shallow? All of these are perfectly fine. We're not trying to change it in any way. Just allowing it to be whatever it is in this moment. I'm sorry if you heard that. My computer was just making noises, but coming back to the breath and that gentle rise and fall. And I invite you to bring your awareness to the base of your spine. And from this place, imagine roots growing down into the earth, moving through the floor beneath you, through the foundations of your house, until it finds the mud, the earth, Mother Nature below. Allow those roots to sink deeply down. Get really grounded, really stable, attached to this earth. These roots begin to draw up energy. Beautiful grounding energy that allows you to feel strong and stable, coming up through the roots into the base of your spine, moving up through your body into your tummy area, bringing with it a calming, relaxing energy. Softening and soothing. Moving up until it comes up to the heart space. The whole of the middle of the body. This torso area is filled with this beautiful grounding energy, allowing you to feel safe, secure, and stable. Just enjoy that moment, that feeling of being safe and stable and secure. And bringing your attention now to your heart space, middle of the chest. And just allow your awareness to explore this area of the body. Is there any tightness or tension here? Is it clenching, holding on, closing down? And I invite you to bring to mind someone that absolutely fills your heart with joy. Perhaps an image of your children as a baby, or a niece or nephew. Maybe a pet who just loves you unconditionally. And notice that feeling in your heart space. That feeling of love and joy. considering how grateful you are to have known them, maybe to still have them in your life. And bringing to mind anyone else you're grateful to know, to have within your circle, to be part of your family or extended family, maybe even this community. And notice that feeling in your heart space. And bringing to mind all the physical things you have in your life that you're really grateful for. Maybe just having a secure home, food in the fridge, running water, comfy clothes, a computer or phone to watch this on. And as you think about these things, notice the feeling in your heart space. And bringing to mind anything else you're grateful for. Maybe your circumstances, the money in your bank, your car parked outside, where you live, whatever it is for you. And notice that feeling in your heart space. And take a moment to be grateful for yourself for showing up here today, for making this time, making this effort, when you could have made an excuse, when you could have put other people's needs first. But actually no. You realise taking care of you means taking care of others. And notice this feeling in your heart space. And I invite you to allow this sensation in your heart space of just love and gratitude, that feeling of how lucky am I, to just fill up your whole being. Enter into every cell, growing stronger, more vibrant. As you gently say to yourself, thank you, thank you, thank you. And enjoy this feeling of gratitude just taking over every cell in your body. That beautiful energy. shifting out the way any fear, any anxiety, because you really understand how lucky you are. And taking a moment to send out this feeling of love and gratitude to perhaps the other ladies in the group, allowing it to build. And sending this love and gratitude out to anyone else that you feel called to. Anyone that might need it. And you can imagine that feeling just filling them up with joy, with love, with gratitude for their own life, having a ripple effect out into the world. And keeping this energy with you, imagine those roots from the earth gently drawing back up into your spine, allowing you to keep hold of that grounded stability within. And this beautiful, loving gratitude at the same time. And as and when you're ready, slowly opening your eyes, coming back into the outside world. Oh. How was that? And I apologise for my computer making noises at the beginning. The universe was obviously picking up on all the Vata energy and decided to throw a few curveballs in the mix. Oh, I am so glad. And this, for me, is why a gratitude list just does not do it justice. Gratitude is the most beautiful experience, the most beautiful energy. And you deserve to indulge in that. Not just write a little list, but feel it in every ounce of your body, every cell. Allow those cells to vibrate with that love. Oh, I love that. Sending love to everyone here. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Anna. Oh no, Julie joined late. That's okay, lovely. You can watch it on catch up and experience it. This energy will move through time and space. You don't need to have experienced that in real time. Oh, less emotional than yesterday. Yeah, I thought I'd give us a break from that today, Tam. So, Vata. It can feel intense. It can feel overwhelming. But we have a choice. And I know in the moment it doesn't feel like we have a choice. It's about tapping into that inner self-healer, that self-healer mindset that reminds us that we get to change. We get to choose differently. This will help you in the moment. This will help you bring yourself back. Bear with me. This will help to bring yourself back out of that fear-based mind, into a place of, oh my God, the universe has absolutely blessed me. Because let's be honest, we live in a time where we can, access this sort of information, which it wasn't that long ago that this information was only available to a select few people, mainly men. Bear with me 2 seconds. My computer is being really strange today. So it wasn't that long ago that this information was only available to a select few people in the world, mainly men. And we live in a time where this information is so freely available. We are able to connect via like some computer, like magic, and talk to each other across the world. We have so many amazing things at our disposal. We live in safe houses. I hope so, anyway. Yes, we may have worries. Yes, there may be things wrong with the world. But, on the whole, we are so lucky. And I feel so, so blessed to be able to share this with you today. I feel so, so blessed to have so many amazing people in this community. And you're all beautiful. So I hope you take the time to look after yourself today, to do the visualization later on, indulge in a little bit of self-massage, and allow your nervous system to calm down, and bring you back to a state of balance. Tomorrow we will be diving into the energy of Kapha. And Kapha is the energy that can make us feel flat. It can make us feel like just nothing excites us. I've got nothing in me. I feel really heavy, really slow. My brain is really slow. Almost like there's a fog hanging over us, like a brain fog. But also like emotionally and energetically, we can feel like there's a bit of a barrier between us and the world. So we will be looking at how we can shift that, how we can pull ourselves out of that being in the sludge, being in the treacle, and come into a beautiful state of being, have far more energy, far more vibrancy, far more motivation. So tomorrow's going to be a beautiful day. I hope you can join me for that. In the meantime, enjoy your Abhyanga. And we've still got so much more to come. So thank you so much. Feeling very grateful for you all. I hope you are in a gorgeous place. Oh, good question, Rebecca. Sounds like I may have excess Vata and Kapha. Is that possible? The simple answer is yes. Do I go into this? Yeah, I will mention it. So this is where Ayurveda can get a little bit more complicated. So bear in mind that I have tried to keep this as simplistic as possible because we've only got 5 days. From a nervous system point of view, from a physical point of view, from a mental, emotional point of view, we can have several of these things going on at one time. In fact, what will often happen is we will be out of balance in one, and it will drive us into excess in another. And that's where, going back to the slides, Ayurvedic books are beautiful. They are wonderful. They will teach you the basics. realistically, they're not going to help you sort out an imbalance in the body. This is where you need support. So yes, with my rheumatoid arthritis, going back to that example, because it just feels right to use that as opposed to my clients' examples, which feels a bit personal. I went out of balance in Pitta. I was completely in excess in Pitta. I was working too hard. I was driving myself into the ground. And because I drove myself into the ground, I went headfirst into excess kapha. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to speak to anyone. I felt very low. Completely lost my sense of identity. So yes, generally we have an imbalance in one which can lead us headfirst into another. So unpicking that is where it can get a bit complicated. But what I would say on the most simplistic level is deal with the one that feels like it's most out of balance. If you feel like you can't decipher between the two, start with Vata. Because Vata will often drive more imbalance, and often we can't get balanced in the others until we've sorted out Vata. So I hope that helps. But yeah, this is where it gets a bit more complicated. I can't sit here and say Ayurveda is simple. It's not. It's complicated. It's a whole health system. But when I teach it, when I support people with it, I do my utmost to make it as simple as possible so you know exactly what you need to do to bring yourself into balance. Okay, lovelies. Wishing you a gorgeous day. Thank you so much for being here. I feel absolutely filled with love and gratitude for you all. And I will see you tomorrow for day 4, diving into kapha, or hopefully out of kapha if you're experiencing a kapha imbalance. And I'll see you then. Take care.